Hello, and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to connect with you, to have conversation with you, and to share some tips and nuggets with you. If you haven't met me before, my name is Jana Masik, and I am the host of LinkedIn Live broadcast Powering Unique You. Here we create encouraging conversations to help you see your potential, to help you expand and grant your skills, and also become a better leader. Today, I am so thrilled to have an amazing lady that's going to join us to chat about how to create the most powerful and the most winning digital presence, and how we can create it together, and how you can create your presence together. And this lady, she is a fashion, image, and a brand strategist. Now, she spent over a decade of her time and career in broadcast, public relationships, branding, and communication consulting. And now another decade she devoted to fashion industry as a fashion stylist, designer, and consultant. And she loves to empower professionals just like you to find voice and transform their business through fashion, branding, and media. Hello, let's welcome Lauren Nicole Sinclair. Hello, Lauren.
Hi. Hello, Jana. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited about this morning. Hello.
Yes. Well, welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you. And we have a lot of nuggets for our listeners today. Let's just make sure that we have people joining in
Okay.
and make sure we're live. And I'm going to check in right here on LinkedIn. Give it just a second. And we should be live on YouTube as well. So if you're live, please say hello to us. Please say where you're from. Lauren and I am so excited you're joining in to support us live, and
Yes.
more importantly, to help yourself and educate yourself. And we're going to drop a lot of valuable tips for you today. So tell us where you're from, tell us that you're watching live, and make sure to ask questions, because we will be happy to answer them for you today.
Absolutely.
Lauren, and before we dive into our session today, I would love for you to just briefly give us some nuggets of why are you so passionate about fashion and branding and the media? Maybe something that really inspired you on this journey.
Well, honestly, just from childhood, I've been just really in both of them. From a child, I grew up in it. My mother was this fashionista. My great grandmother was a fashionista, and so I was always around it and just really found comfort in it and confidence in it. And then both my mother and father were a part of the communications world. My father was a reporter, and my mother was in mass communication. She was in public relations and traveled all over the world doing it and worked in the music industry doing it. So I just really grew up in it. I like to say this is in my blood. So I just started, passions come and seeds are planted from a very young age. And I just believe those seeds were planted, and they just kind of came out. And I decided that this was the direction I wanted to go the older I got.
I love this story, Lauren, and it looks like your family has created this like environment for you to thrive and be passionate about what you do, and I admire your career in the media, and what you have experienced there, and now that you're bringing all of your knowledge and experience in the media and on the TV into helping people, and supporting people to design the best image of themselves, right? The best branding for themselves.
Absolutely.
Yes. And today, the topic that we're covering is all about online presence, is all about how can I, you, and our viewers and listeners can create the winning and powerful digital online presence. We are in this environment where everything's online nowadays, right? And I would love for you to tell us a little bit about digital stages. Maybe what the digital stages are, and give us some impression of why they are important.
Well, a digital stage is this. We're on a digital stage right now. And there are so many different platforms. You have LinkedIn, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have Facebook. All of these are types of digital stages. And that means, guess what? We all have one. There's nobody left out in there in that. So we all have one, or we have the opportunity to have one. And it's very different from back in the day when you could broadcast live only in a television station. That's the only way that you could do that. And I was in the television industry when that was. And so when we were able to do remote lives and then able to go live from your phone, and, just all of this began to change, and it has changed our world digitally, definitely, and our platforms and our brands, because now we have a way to access people ourselves. We don't have to go through a television station. We can directly go to people through our digital stages. So it's really important that we take advantage of the digital stages and our presence, and making sure we are presenting our best self, because in end that is going to help your brand. It's going to help your self image, whether you are in the corporate world or an entrepreneur. This is a way to really show people who you are and to build your community.
This is really good, because you mentioned different platforms, and I know you are very active and you have quite a big following on Instagram and Facebook, and this is a lot of where your clients are. And I am really convincing you to go and get more active on LinkedIn. So for those who are watching on LinkedIn, follow Lauren to make sure you gonna connect with her and send her a connection request. I'm really sure that we're gonna see more content and more tips and more encouragement from Lauren in the coming days. And Lauren, you mentioned that all of these platforms are stages. And I do think, in addition to that, there are different ways or different stages that you can see, or you can think as a corporate professional. You have a stage right now when you're doing a Zoom meeting with your team. You have a stage, maybe you're looking for a job and you're doing an interview, and you are in a Zoom or Skype or any type of platform that allow you to be seen and show your communication styles. You're in a stages when there are conferences or there are summits, or there are a type of meetings where you can go and collaborate with your peers. So there are many, many digital stages. And what is really important for us to realize is the way we present ourselves on those digital stages nowadays is really the way how people see us and perceive us. And every one of us are on those stages. So please tell us, Lauren, how can I and how can our viewers and listeners can improve, the presence, and how maybe they can even improve their visibility and improve their presentation of how they carry themselves on digitally.
Well, Johnny, you bring up a great point. If you're in the corporate world, there's so many different digital stages, and you may not think so. You may just think you're doing a conference from home in your PJs, but it is your stage, because guess what? You're not flying across country to go to these conferences anymore. You are at home, so you're not able to connect with your coworkers. You're not able to connect with your bosses, and your boss's boss is the same anymore. So how do you create a digital stage and digital presence so that it goes through the screen and you are still standing out in your corporate world. Okay. And so there's a lot of different things that you can do. And this includes with branding as well. If you are an entrepreneur and you're using your digital stage to build your business, it's important that you show a certain type of professionalism as well, but you also want to show a little bit of the soft side as well because you want to let people in. So let's start with the corporate side of it, okay? If you are getting ready to do a conference, what are things that you can do to stand out? One, you want to make sure you have good lighting, no matter what. That's across the board for corporate and the entrepreneurs. Our branding, you want to make sure lighting is great, okay? And there's a lot of different things that you can do. You don't have to have a professional photographer like I do as a husband, but it is very simple to do. And to believe it or not, my husband did not use anything professional. He used a light from his garage, that he uses when he's like working on cars and things like that to create this light that you see. You know, it's lit very well with that light. But what you can do is you can take a flashlight, you can take a
Mm-hmm.
light from the garage, you can sit by a window, and what you can do is take a white sheet or a pillowcase to diffuse the light a bit so that it's not so harsh, and that gives you that nice glow look. You want to also make sure if you're sitting by a window that the light isn't shining so hard on this side of your face that it washes the side of your face out. And now this side looks dark. So if you have a window, try to sit kind of flush to it. You can, again, if you have some white curtains or a white sheet, it does not have to be fancy because you cannot see what's around me and it's chaos around me. So you just want to make sure what is behind you looks good. So again, the lighting should be superb, okay? And you don't have to go and buy anything fancy to do that. You can also purchase a ring light, and that is just a ring. It looks like a circle and has lights that goes around it, and those are now very easy to find, so you can get it on Amazon or find it on at Walmart. Even has it, and those are ways to improve your lighting. Now let's talk about your background. Your background should look pretty professional. It should not have wine bottles, beer bottles, a basket full of clothes. And I have a basket full of clothes, several of them that need to be folded, but you don't see them behind me. So we don't want to see that. We don't want to see your bed unmade. We don't want to see your refrigerator behind you. You want to make sure that you have a very professional background. Like I said, you don't know what's going around me and it's chaotic, but what you see behind me is just a very professional background. Now, when it comes to what you can stage behind you, there are several different things that you can do. And this is how you can stand out when you're doing conferences. You create a background that describes who you are. So now my husband had a conference. I'm trying to figure out which way to turn. My husband had a conference, and so he changed out the books.
Mm-hmm.
So these books kind of are more so for him, but usually I
Yeah.
have like fashion books up there, some inspirational books and things like that. My husband, like I said, is also a photographer, so we have the cameras and things like that. That just lets you know who he is, a little bit about him. And our whole family, we are a green family, and so we love our fiddly figs. We have several of them, and then you can see down here. There's a picture of. I don't have my camera mirrored, but
I will
you
do this. Let me show your entire background by removing myself.
okay. There we go. Okay, so now you can see here. Now, again, this was my husband's setting. I didn't change it because I thought this would be a great example for you guys. So, again, my husband is a professional photographer. It's not what he does by day, but that's what he went to school for. So, he is passionate about photography. That is our son right here. And then down here, I'm still trying to get it. Okay, down here you see my mother-in-law and myself. And we did have a picture of my little sweet girl up there, but I think she fell over. But Those are things that you can see that really, those are things that are important to him. And what he did to also stand out was that he changed out the pictures. So it became a conversation. And so now he's having that conversation he normally would probably have at the restaurant, when we were, not quarantined. He now is still having those conversations with his coworkers and his bosses and his boss's bosses, because they're like, "Hey, Terrence, I see your pictures changing. Oh, I like the pictures." So now you're standing out. So there's different things that you can do. I think I saw one guy, he had albums that he kept changing behind him. Those create conversations, and those help you stand out, especially in that corporate setting. So you want to make sure you do things and be engaged. That is a
Right.
huge one, especially when you are in a corporate setting and you're doing your Zoom meetings or conferences or one-on-ones, any of that, and it's a group of people. One, turn your camera on. Make sure the camera is on. Okay, that is number one. Turn that camera on, because guess what? The person on the other side, they want to see you because they are missing that engagement too. And it's hard just sitting here talking to a phone or talking to a laptop or talking to a computer. You need that engagement. So turn on your camera, and guess what? Give them your undivided attention. Nod, give them that encouragement, because guess what? They're going to then focus on you too. And that's another way that you can stand out. Now, when it comes to branding, all of those things still play a part. You want to make sure lighting is right. You want to make sure your background is right. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to brand yourself, what you can do is get a background similar to Jana. It's just a plain background, but you can get it with your logo on the back of it. And so now we have that brand identity going.
Yes.
So those are different things that you can do as a branding, as an entrepreneur, to just stand out, to keep that branding going and going. Even if you had just a background like this, you didn't have a backdrop, but what you can do is have a picture frame in the back of you with your logo in it as well. So those are things that you want to do, again, as an entrepreneur or someone that's working on their branding on their digital stage. The lighting is important, the background is important. And then also, like Jana and I were working on our camera levels this morning. Her and
Mhm.
I are side by side. So it's very important that our cameras are pretty synced, so that my head isn't here, which makes me look really big, and her, yes. So, or the
Like
opposite way.
this.
Yes. So it's very important that the framing is correct as well. Because this way it looks like John and I are really having a conversation. It feels natural. It looks really good. I'm not bigger. She's not bigger. You want to make sure framing is correct, especially when you're side by side with someone or with a lot of people. So those are
Well,
just a few things. And then of course, I'm a fashion girl. So what you wear is very important, right, Jana? Jana has on this beautiful cobalt blue, which is so perfect for her. It just makes her bright. So those are things that you can do as well. Make sure you have on something that is nice. It can be fun. I gave you guys ruffles this morning, polka dots, a red lip. Jana and I both gave you a pop lip. Now, let me tell you, girls, a pop lip is perfect when you are doing these online conferences and digital lives and things like that. A pop lip is everything right now. So be sure to get you a nice red or hot pink or something, so that you can just put on that pop lip too. But again, yes, something really nice. Again, you don't know what John and I have on the bottom, but you at least want to look professional and nice and cute at the top, right, Jonna?
Lauren, you've given like ton of practical tips and advices. I love it that you really dive. You described a simple yet things that anybody can implement. And I've been on different digital stages. You and I were on a conference, on a large 3,000 people conference that attended digitally. And I can say that you can truly stand out when you create this brand in this visual setting exactly what you mentioned. Start with lighting, make sure your face is very well lit. Then look at your background, look at your, environment, how you present yourself, what you wear, make sure you look professionally. And I also been on one-on-one discussions. I've been on some Zoom calls, connecting with people, and some of them were very professional and pleasant to speak with. And some of them were a little bit more laid back. They were in the back porch and, in their top tanks, which is maybe fine as well. It depends on what you want to create, right? So if you do
Yes.
want to portray yourself and you want to brand yourself as you're very laid back, you're close to the beach, and you're just very relaxed, that's okay, as long as that's what you want to portray and this is how you want to present yourself. But now, if you're in a professional setting in your corporate world, maybe laying in a tank top and trying to do a Zoom interview may not be the best shot that you want to go for. But those tips that Lauren you described are really good, and I think they can be applicable to anybody. They're very simple, and I know Sandra is. I want to actually shout out to just to say hi to everybody that are viewing. I have Sandra. Well, Sandra, I want to say mention Sandra Claire, and Sandra, she's an amazing lady, and I've met her on one of the networking lunches that we did. And I love how she set it up. Exactly what you presented. She just had this very nice backdrop, flowers, and it was just so like staged perfectly. I said, it was
Yes.
almost like a professionally staged place. And she mentioned that it took her time to actually go around the house and find the perfect spot and find the perfect way to light up the angle of the camera. Your camera should not be looking up your nose. Your camera
That's
should be
right.
above your eyesight, and set it up in a way that really going to present your best self.
That's right.
Because no matter where we are, when we are on digital stages, we are in a way selling yourself. You are selling your expertise. You are presenting yourself. And then you do not know the person that you're connecting with maybe, just maybe, be that key or the chain to bring you to your next best opportunity. So
That's
you
right.
want to, in any capacity, present your best self. And this is what you, Lauren, you and I here today to help all of our viewers and listeners. And of course, we do it ourselves. We're learning constantly from each other. And how can we improve? How can we upgrade? And I love how you touched the importance of digital stages and important how you present yourself. And maybe talk to us a little bit from your experience, because you've been in the corporate world for many years.
Mhm.
How can corporate professionals working within the company work on their branding? Because I talk to many people and they're feeling hesitant of, how do I come online, and, how do I really structure my branding? Maybe some of the thoughts or advice to those listeners that are in the corporate role right now, working for a company, and they're figuring out how to create their digital presence, their online presence.
Well, that is awesome, because no matter if you're working in the corporate world, you are still an individual and you still have your digital presence. And you want to make sure that it looks good as well. And it's just like if you are working for a company and you go and you decide to get another degree. Well, all that is helping the company because you are bettering yourself, you're gaining more knowledge. And so, creating a great digital platform can also help your company as well, because you can push people that way, which is awesome, and they would like that. And then also, you're bettering yourself. And then you also have to think about your next opportunity as well. Okay. Now, we don't want them to cross and and you compromise um, your you don't want to compromise your position at your company, but it's just like your resume is here to represent you, and so should your digital platform. Okay, so if there is something that you are passionate about, don't be afraid to work on that and to create a digital platform doing that. Because this is your presence and this is how you're going to build that. And whether it is helping your current position, or if it will help you when you leave, or just something you enjoy doing, it might be gardening. That might be something you enjoy doing. I enjoy gardening. I enjoy my tomatoes. I was looking this morning and my tomatoes are turning red, Jonna. So you might be passionate about gardening, and you can set up a digital platform doing that, even though you're working in the corporate world, because I want to know your tricks. So I might think about looking at your videos talking about what you do for your tomato plants and your corn and things like that. What are you fertilizing with? So don't be afraid to have a digital platform. I know sometimes it can get a little muddy on if you're working and if there is a conflict of interest. But like I said, your digital platform is also very similar to your resume. You should build it and build on it. And you want to make sure that it looks good as well. Because when you are by yourself and you're doing these calls and one-on-one with consultations in honor of your company, then it's important that your digital stage looks great as well, because you're a representation of your company.
Hmm. This is good, Lauren, and I like you also mentioned a little bit earlier in in your description and advice that you were giving. The setup is good, the lighting is good, how you look physically is good. Yet I believe what is very important is what energy do you bring to the conversation. Are you coming across as a living, passionate, energetic person, or are you coming across as you're just there, you kind of go through the motion,
Right.
it's just another Zoom call. And depending on what your internal state, it will automatically cross across the digitally to another person. So our internal state, our internal energy, our internal are you at peace, or are you happy, or are you energized, are you feeling empowered, or you're just dragging your feet barely to survive? And I know many of us have moments where we're dragging our feet now because there's so many things that happening around us and
Right.
with us. Yet when we come to this digital stages, what I feel important and how I observe people as well is when you meet the person that is truly energetic and that is passionate about life, passionate about their mission, it is very attractive. It is almost contagious. So
Yes, honestly.
I say go to be more positive, more energetic, bring more good energy into your digital stages. And I want to say hi to people that are checking in. We have Zishan saying hello. Hi, Zishan. Thank you for tuning in. We have Janet Turner
Hi,
checking in.
Janet.
Hi, Janet. Sandra saying thank you, Sandra. You're so kind.
Sandra.
And Janet saying, Jana, you were the first one to take the time to give me camera angle tips. Janet, you're doing awesome. I think lighting is going to be good for you to improve, and we all improving all the time. It's a
Yes.
process. And Sandra saying, yes, I have a space in my living room that I use for video calls and protocol, for which I prepared a stack the cookbooks that the laptop seats to make over the better lighting. The piano stool is the right height for being distracted. Here, piano stool, I have a piano stool right here. My laptop is on the piano stool because that perfectly elevates the camera and perfectly creates the angle that I do want to create. So you have to play around with what works for you. Some people say
Yes.
it's better to sit, and that's okay to sit if you want to sit. Some people say when you stand up, you bring more energy, you're more open, you're more flowing, you're more engaged. So play around. Maybe do some sessions when you sit and do some sessions when you stand up. Whatever works best for you, but work on improving it every time.
Yes, and you can use all type of things. Like I prefer when we talk about cameras, I prefer to use my cell phone camera versus my laptop camera, and that's because they are really going light years ahead with these cell phones. So the cameras are just great. So I prefer to use my cell phone camera because the laptop camera has more of a hazy look. So you can also get an external camera instead of using your phone if you're afraid of phone calls coming in or it going out or any of that thing, any of those things. You can just get an external camera, clip it on your computer or your laptop and use that. But the cell phone camera is just So wonderful. I like to use that. So I put my camera, my cell phone on a tripod, and my tripod right now is sitting on two boxes. One that is a Christmas box. So, use what you have to definitely create the correct height. Height is important. You don't want to have too much headroom above you. You want to make sure you just have enough, and that is in television or portraits, taking pictures, that's just one of those rules that you don't want to have too much headroom above. So make sure, yes, that you have those cameras leveled correctly, and if you are using your laptop, that you elevate it at eye level. And a trick that you can also do, Jonna, is if you are on Zoom, what you can do is take the boxes and put your picture right in the center where your camera sits. And that way you're looking directly into it, because we have a habit, of course, we want to look at ourselves. And so if you put it right in front, in the middle, you're now kind of looking directly at the camera, but still looking at yourself all at the same time. So it looks like you're like giving like the good eye contact.
I
Okay.
know this is good because we do tend, and even I sometimes notice, like doing the broadcast, I tend to look this way, and it's good for some time while you're reading. But at some point, you need to create this connection. And I agree with you on Zoom. It's so easy to focus on another person talking. But when you focus on another person talking, you do look like this all the time, and you miss
Yes.
this opportunity of eye contact. And eye contact is so important because that's where you create authentic connections. We do want to see each other in the eye, even digitally, even online.
That's
It
right.
creates more connectivity that way. I feel, especially those who are extroverts, and I believe even introverts in a way, we all feel a little bit of in this prison, so to speak, this social prison. We have not really seen people. For me, it's hugging people, to go
Oh,
talking
yes.
freely. It's difficult, so we have to take advantage of these platforms that are at fingertips for you and I, to create this connectability, to create a little bit more relationships, to start and building some new relationships as well. It's a little bit easier, especially for introverts. In a way, it's a little bit easier to connect, I believe, online, because you don't have that intimidation of person right in front of you, right? So use those platforms, and not just build your reputation, build your brand. In addition to that, use the digital platforms to expand your network, to create new connections, to create new collaborations and new opportunities for yourself.
Exactly right. Exactly. You want to create that engagement, the connecting, because this is how we're connecting. And it does take more effort, but go ahead and just put that extra effort in there, just to create that connection. It will go a long way.
Yes, and we have a couple more comments I want to say. Sandra is saying, to your energy point, here's a tip that I found. I recorded some sample text just to hear myself, and was surprised that even when I thought I was being energetic, I sounded flat. So I learned that I need to animate by my video voice more in order to convey that energy. This is really, really good tip, Sandra. And because you worked in the TV before, Lauren, give us maybe basic things on how to be more animative, how to be more engaging. Some of us are maybe born with that and more natural, but for some people, they need to work on this. And what can they use to improve that presence, improve that energy conveying?
So you may feel like you're being extra. You're like, oh, I'm being extra, but people feel it. I mean, my husband saw a video of me the other day online. He was like, I was like, but you have to be, to connect. You're next to me, so it doesn't take all of that to connect with you. But you have to get in there. You gotta lean in there, and you gotta talk to people. And yes, you have to do that, and it may feel extra in the moment of doing it. Like if you have a great point that you want people to know, and you do just a little bit of a lean in, guess what? People are leaning in with you, and they're saying, "What are you saying?" Oh, 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 okay. So it feels unnatural in the moment, but it is a way to connect, talking with your hands. Now, when you are on camera, talking with your hands could be a lot. So you want to be careful with talking with your hands. And then also just be aware of your framing. Because right now my framing is at a point where you don't really see my hands. I do use my hands when I am talking, but just be aware of that. I still would say use your hands when talking. Just don't, like I said, it's different from talking in front of someone, because right now we have a camera, and so I can easily, and now I'm blocking my, so just be careful with things like that. But like Sandra said, it can seem like you're being energetic, but it can come across flat. So you want to emphasize things and really be happy and talk with a smile, because those things will help you project and connect with the person not next to you physically, but through a computer on the other side of the world or across the country.
These are good tips, and we have some hearts coming in. If you do like what you're hearing, and if it is serving you and it is helpful, please take this episode and share it on your profile. And if you find some specific tips helpful, list them out and say why people need to tune in and listen to that. I feel these are really good, simple, yet very practical and important things that we're talking about that everyone can take and everyone can implement. And I know many professionals struggling with being uncertain about themselves, maybe not feeling comfortable of getting on the video. And because we are forced in any way to be on these digital stages, on Zoom's calls, on team calls, then on interviews, especially for those that are looking for jobs. You can use those tips to master your presence. And like Sandra is doing is perfect example. Don't just sit and think think you're perfectly fine. I am rewatching as well my broadcast to look at things that I can improve, not to say too many and
Yeah.
I'm looking to improve things. And you can also record yourself, just what Sandra suggested. Record yourself, watch yourself, and as you watch yourself, you're going to see and notice things that stand out that you can improve on, and things that you can maybe not to do, and or certain things that you can do. What I found very helpful is this tip: when you want to say something important, people pay
Right.
attention to you, right? So
Do.
simple tricks like this, and there's a lot of online resources that you can find. What I found very helpful, and to the point, Sandra, you mentioned about my quality of my sound, my husband got me fancy Yeti microphone. So he's really improving the quality of my broadcast. He's my tech guy. What helped me to work on my voice is actually, I found that there is a lot of options for online voice coaching. And the gentleman that I love, absolutely love, for his wisdom and his knowledge and the practical tips is Roger Love. His name is the same as my husband's. Roger Love. So go out and check him out online. He has great programs that are not very expensive. They're affordable. And one of those I purchased that teach you how to animate your voice. That he's telling you that people have different tonalities. Then he's telling you that sometimes you just need to slow down and speak a little bit slower. And
That's right.
sometimes you need to be faster. Sometimes you need to be softer, and sometimes you need to be a little bit louder. So by you playing around and learning how to express your voice, how to communicate with your voice better, you basically upskilling yourself. And that's not going to just work for you if you're looking for a job. It's going to work for you to present, because we all presenting in one way or the other with our bosses, with our executives, with our teams. It's going to help you to be more engaged, and it's going to make you more interesting to look at and listen to. So I think that, check out his program. I think he has phenomenal training that you can look into and invest in yourself. We have a couple more people checking in. We say Abdul saying hello, and yeah, so good. We have great tips. Diana saying great tips. Thank you, Diana. And Sandra saying about the quality. So yes, I'm using Yeti. And going back to the camera, the phone has many capabilities right now. So Lauren, you're using phone. I'm using, my husband get Logitech camera for me. So I'm using this external camera. Then I can set up on a better quality. That also helped me to navigate the angle
And
better.
it looks good.
Thank you. So these
Very,
are
very
all the practical tips, all the things
yeah.
that you can easily and quickly implement. And my encouragement to you, keep evolving. It's a journey. Your digital presence is evolving journey. Keep working on the things with what you got now and keep improving, keep practicing, keep looking at what other people are doing, finding what they're doing. And it's exactly the same thing that how I am learning and improving as well.
And if you have
Lauren,
children, find you more than one place that you can do it. I have two. So right now I am upstairs away from them. But I also have an area downstairs that I can use when they may be up here. So find you more than one place. You can have more than one look, especially if you're branding and um, just trying to create different looks. And then also think about the lighting. Like I am right here by a window, and so sometimes during the day the lighting is not the best because of that, so I have to create more lighting and turn the lights on and things like that. So um, you want to just create more than one space that you can use, because you just never know what will happen, especially when you have children.
this is true. And I like, my husband actually repainted the back of this wall. So it really looks very nice. And the living room is not providing too much echo. So I like doing this broadcast in a dining room. And then I have my back room that, for those that we had the chat on Zooms, you may have seen the map. So I actually had this map hanging on this wall. So because I'm in the back room for my home office, I put that map on the back, and it's really like a frame.
Yes, I
A lot of people are talking about that all the time. They're like, "I love this map." I said, "Well, one of my passion is being global. I want to make global impact. I've always been involved in global business. My background is global. I've moved countries, so the world is really representing, or the map is representing, one of my passions, and it's creating those simple yet important conversations or connection points where people say, well, I like, this is a girl that has a map in the back. So think of something that you are passionate about that maybe you can also integrate into your background, or integrate in some way to create those conversation starters, just like Lauren, you suggested.
Yes, absolutely. I love that map you have
Wonderful.
too.
Good. And I think we are wrapping up for today. If you don't have any questions, you can find Lauren on LinkedIn. You can
Yes.
also find Lauren on Instagram and Facebook. She has a lot of things that she's sharing all the time. And Lauren, I would love for you to share with us some of the new things that you're working on and creating right now.
Yes, I am really excited because we are creating a free workshop, and that will happen August 8th. And we're going to talk more about your digital stage and your digital presence and some things that you can do. And so today, John and I just kind of went over briefly over some things that you can do, but we're going to go a little more in depth at on August 8th for that workshop. So you can go to my website. That's thelaurennicole.com. Gets a little tricky here. It's the Lauren Nicole with one N. So the LaurenNicole.com. And
And
use
I will drop
awesome.
that in the comments as well so people can easily find that.
Perfect. And when you go on there, you can pre-register for the conference. Fill out that form, and we'll make sure you get all the information that you need and the links that you need for August 8th. We are really excited about it because we want to definitely help make sure that you have the best digital stage possible, because this can lead to your next opportunity. And so we want you to make sure that you are presenting your best self. So we'll give you different tips. And then in September, we'll have a conference where we'll bring more people on to talk even more about this corporate trainings and things like that. So we're really, really excited about that. So that will be August 8th. And of course, you can go to thelaurenicole.com to get more information and to pre-register for that. And Jana has definitely convinced me I am definitely going to take advantage of my LinkedIn community and build it and come over here and show some love. So I will definitely start doing more on LinkedIn. Definitely some tips and tricks and some good free advice that can help you with your branding, your marketing, your image. Okay. And you may not be into fashion, but let me just give you this little nugget here. This is how people first see you. And although we like to say, don't judge a book by its cover, we do. So before you speak, your body language, your clothes, your image, that's all speaking for you. And so we want to make sure that your image is speaking and connecting with your brand and what you're trying to present. Okay. And so a lot of people I have, they're like, I'm not into fashion. I'm just, practical and, but I will tell you this. I have had clients that say what the changing what they wear affected their attitude, their inner self. And it changed and made them feel more powerful. And then it also drew people to them because we can use different colors just like we use in logos and things like that to draw people and to tell people things. And so like a magnet, it draws people into you, and now you now have a connection with someone and a conversation is started, and now it could possibly lead into a sale. So don't just think that fashion is not me. Well, fashion is for everyone because we all have to wear clothes. So not why not be strategic when putting it on and thinking about it? Okay. So I'll be giving fashion tips as well for corporate world, for branding and different things like that. So just wait on me. I'm gonna get that LinkedIn page together. But you can also follow me on Instagram at the Lauren Nicole, and then also on Facebook at Lauren Nicole Designs. Thank you
That's
so much, Donna.
that's wonderful, Lauren. And I'm so grateful for you to come over and share your wisdom and your knowledge with us. And have all of these years of experience that you've been in the fashion, you've been on a TV, you've been in a in a show, in a showcase, and you have so many practical experiences. And then that anybody that they're simple, you make them simple, you make them sound simple, and they are simple to take and implement in life. So I hope that you gain some value from today's episode.
I hope so.
Make sure to check out, and I will put the website for Lauren to go and register for this free workshop that's going to be on August 8th, and just a couple of weeks down the road.
Yeah.
You will gain some great insights there. Lauren, thank you so much for coming in, for sharing your wisdom. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much for having me, Jana. This has been great. Thank you for welcoming me into your community.
And don't forget to connect with Lauren on LinkedIn and follow her for great content upcoming.
Yes.
All right, Lauren, I see you next time again.
Next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Wow, wow. So much energy. I love this lady. And I hope you loved her too. And I hope that she has given you good insights and some quick strategies that you can implement in your life to create your powerful online presence. And we talked about why it is important, and we talked about how you can create it. And I want to say this is a process. This is a process that you follow and you work on implementing and improving on it every time. And as you work on it, it's going to get better and better and better. Wow. I believe that by sharing our expertise, by sharing our knowledge and wisdom, and connecting to each other, we can truly encourage each other. We can help each other feel empowered and energized, and we can change this world to be a better place. And for this, I'm very grateful. Thank you, my friends, and I will see you again next week.